So Foulmouthed Brewing at its basic is my wife Julia and myself. We had this wild idea for a brewery back many years ago when we were home brewing together in a tiny apartment in New York City. And then we've since bounced around the country a little bit, living in Salt Lake City, brewing the beers that we wanted to drink when we didn't want 3.2% beers. And then eventually work brought us here to Maine, where we really thought that we could settle down and create the dream that we always had here in Maine. Experimentation is sort of our specialty. I mean, we've been open for 7-8 months now and have 34, 35 unique beers that we've brewed and 40 or 50 batches. So that's very little repeating of the same recipes. A few of our beers come back again, but for the most part, we really like the idea of trying to create new and interesting beers every time we do it. So we're a brew pub, so we have 6 beers on tap served right out of the tanks at any given time. And it's our own directive to maintain a gamut of beers. So we want to always have something hoppy and also something malty, and something light and something dark, something light and sessionable and something high in alcohol. And so somewhere in that 6 taps, there ought to be something that works for everybody. As a brew pub, we're a full restaurant and bar, not just a production brewery. So right now we're sitting in the production side of the business, but right over the wall over there, there's a 50 some odd seat restaurant where we have a full bar and a food menu where we're making craft junk food. We've got pulled pork sandwiches and nachos and all of that, but we're using locally raised pigs and making our chips in-house and some of the best French fries you'll ever have. It's about local ingredients sourced well and made from cooked from scratch here. We're also doing a lot of fun work with cocktails, and I think more specifically with beer cocktails. Our bar manager Jeff is a really creative mixologist. I think he hates that word, mixologist. He's a really creative bartender who knows his way around how to work beer into a cocktail in a very interesting and creative way. Right now we have a hot buttered rum that's using the wort from the beer that we were making that brew day instead of any sugar. And it just makes this really rich, thick, delightful rum drink. So, we opened with the intention of selling 400 or so barrels in our first year, and we're probably going to push 600 barrels in our first year. We like the idea of kind of operating closer to the 800 to 1,000 barrel mark. Is a really nice, comfortable position for us to be able to keep making new and interesting products and not have to keep on making the same beer over and over again to supply a distribution market.